What is up, y'all? Voluntalker here, and I wanted to ask you guys a bit of a question. Have you ever had parents that ends up always using this phrase as well? The phrase in question being, we do everything for you, so you should be more grateful," or at least some other variant of it as well. And you may have thought upon to that time where it's just irritating or just completely frustrating to deal with, not especially when your own parents have also tried to use family and especially using you as their child as some sort of pawn to get their way instead of, well, a compromise to benefit both you and them, but rather go ahead and just use it just to justify themselves and make them feel more important. And the thing I wanted to say upon to this specific phrase is that just because you're a parent of a child does not mean you have the right to use your obligations, your responsibilities, and your requirements to be a good parent, deemed good by quotation marks. I'm not sure if y'all see it, but I am doing quotation marks on screen or something. I'm not really so sure, but but it's either way. It's a common phrase that has also been used to guilt trip children and to guilt trip those who are, how do I say this? It's been commonly used as a guilt tripping argument to go ahead and justify the position of the parent. And it's also technically should be considered as another form of abuse as well. Not especially with the fact where using this specific phrase is basically trying to tear down the child in question just to go ahead and justify the parent's position to do whatever they want to do whatever they wish to use against the child, or to make the child feel bad and have fake remorse, or at least remorse that hurts the child in some way as well. And what I wanted upon to say is even your own family can become enemies as well. Why exactly I'm saying this is that, one, because even with family as a whole that they're using, that they want to use, and especially with the fact that they end up trying to use your birth even though they didn't give you life, it is the Lord that gives life in the whole entire the first place. And as he has said that he takes and he gives, it is stated that he takes and he gives. That I am not going to repeat that. I'm not going to go ahead and repeat that statement because it's crystal clear to see that those who uses that type of arguments, i.e., justifying just to use using their child's birth as a tool to get free stuff or to satiate some sort of passion, is in itself an massive irony, and even as a matter of fact, more selfish than anything else as well. But when the child ends up trying to fight back or tries to give out really good arguments, and especially giving out strong arguments towards the parent, they would end up using the, "Are you talking back to me? I am your so and so," or "I am your father slash mother," and using their title as a father slash mother to go ahead and try to dismiss any sort of what could be constructive criticism and constructive feedback that they could be able to use to improve themselves, especially when parents also get thinking that, "Oh, you're just a kid, you don't know anything," which is also completely also dismissing the talents and also completely dismissing the achievements that a child can have, but when the child ends up has actually accomplished something, which is, or having accomplished a massive achievement, it is, they end up turning back and saying that how much they are proud of their child and how much they are, how do I even say this, how they would consider them as their kid. But then when they end up failing, they end up using that mistake against their said child as well, which in itself feels like nothing more but a massive contradiction, and also completely just a, how do I say this? There's a word to give out. It's like a double-headed snake like behavior in some way. No, it's just being a snake in reality, being a two-faced snake. Yeah, I think that's also the word that's also been used. That's what I'm trying to use as well. But in regards upon to that, what I'm also saying, or what I'm trying to say, is that even then, parents have a responsibility to take care of their kids. That's we can obviously agree on, and that we, but it's also never okay to go ahead and use said responsibilities that has also been given to the parents to use to justify themselves and justify their own pride, to destroy their own child as well. It's completely disheartening to also still see the fact that some parents, not all parents, some parents end up using this to justify trying to gain money, to gain more resources, and to sap up their life, the child's life, privacy, and the will to live, because they didn't agree with it, because it's they who did not want it in the whole entire the first place, and expecting the child to follow the parents' will in the whole entire the first place instead of the will of the Lord, the will of God, but rather just using it to make the children follow their wills, which the human will in itself is, well, flawed. Yes, that's pretty obvious. And also to gain all this property, and to gain what exactly? Just to gain all the Porsches, the Ferraris, and all the mansions, and all this, just to be having a life or retirement of luxury and spent upon into the best thing. There is nothing wrong of wishing to enjoy the last few remaining the few remaining years of your life with luxury, and to share it with your friends, or those who you consider that you consider to be the most trusting of them all, or who you trust the most. It also, but it becomes a problem when using the expectation of getting these things, or getting so much stuff to use, by using your own children, and using them as just considering them as failures, considering them as just basically subhuman, just because that the parent didn't even get their way in whole entire the first place, and that they never even receive any quote unquote stuff or whatever they wish for, whether it's luxury or not. And I want to go ahead and conclude this video by wishing to say that it's okay to wishing to honor your parents, and to have them have the best lives as well, and wanting to, well, expand the generation as well, into slash having children of your own and being a parent. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good upon to itself. It's not okay to go ahead and use just their own existence that man can't bring, although by God's grace, that the child has also been given life, the gift of life by God himself. Glory to God always. And what I'm trying to say is that it's never okay to go ahead and use the arguments of, I brung you in this world and I gladly can take you out of it because you didn't get your way or you didn't receive what you wanted in the whole entire first place. That's like a toddler having a temper tantrum in the middle of a grocery store because he didn't get the toy he wanted or she wanted. It's never okay for parents to go ahead and use the, I brung you into this world and I do everything for you argument just to justify guilt tripping their children or to go ahead and justify any sort of abuse towards their own kin as well. Gonna be logging off for now. Fallen Talker out.